Morning viewer, welcome to our Glory Globe TV. Here's a breaking news. Yes, as India furiously debates the one nation, one election call more or less endorsed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi of the Bharatiya Janata Party through a committee to examine the issue, it becomes pertinent to examine why the subject is continuous and contentious also. The committee, led by former President of India Ram Nath Kovind, a long-time BJP activist, is packed with protagonists who favor the simultaneous holding of state and central legislature elections. The panel seems focused more on governance and economics than social and constitutional realities. You can therefore expect dissent, disagreement, and disruptions from other quarters, and that is already quite visible and audible. Let me correct myself. Are we not supposed to say the union instead of the central government elected by the Lok Sabha? There begins to controversy rekindled in recent months by Tamil Nadu Chief Minister and DMK leader M.K. Stalin, who gently reminded Indian citizens that the constitution refers to India as a union of states. Since the constitution demarcates both powers through clear list of subjects under union and state legislature and structures through legislative assemblies, the commonsensical view would be that separate elections are needed for a person. Don't people need to vote separately with clear agendas in mind on what they are voting for and not just who? Enough has already been said about how a single election would undermine its federal character and how a one-shot poll would only favor a centralized, personality-driven authoritarian rule that read Modi, but one man's authoritarian regime is another's good governance project. Stability in Modi's political lexicon spells better development. Perhaps it is time to examine democracy itself as an idea and how the constitution views it. Since the constitution's preamble promises social, economic, and political justice, the canvas is broad enough to suggest that what people feel depends on the national mood. However, for moods to become lasting law, and that too one which fundamentally alters the political processes, the country requires a national consensus that is lasting enough not to cause upheavals and unrest that would make frequent elections look like small blips. In other words, we cannot let the cure for a flawed democracy become worse than the malady. Now let us examine a few quotes on that issue to locate the context. Urdu poet Allama Iqbal famously said, "Jamhuriyat एक तर्जा ये हुकूमत है कि जिसमें बंधनों को गिना करते हैं तौला नहीं करता." Democracy is that form of government in which hits are counted, not weighed. Head count pessimists like the poet often have an elite bias in which knowledgeable, decisive people make fine decisions that keep spirits high and cost low. The fact that frequent elections increase cost is a favorite argument of those who believe that economics is central to the whole debate. But it is equally pertinent to quote Kansi Ram, founder of the Bahujan Samaj Party, who articulated the worldview of Dalits representing the lowest in India's Hindu social hierarchy. हमें मजबूत सरकार नहीं, मजबूर सरकार चाहिए. We don't want a strong government, we want a government under pressure. We may as well supplement that with rockstars David Bowie and Freddie Mercury belting out their classic under pressure to echo the Dalit condition. It is the terror of knowing what this world is about, watching some good friends screaming, "Let me out." If that is true, the purpose of frequent elections can be seen as a positive way of keeping the elite responsible for the poor. After all, poor voters have less media clout and even less money power. For them, a button pressed on the electronic voting machine is a silent scream meant to reach the high and mighty in their lexicon, and elections prevail is a gaudy that somehow eases life's pressure. Between Kasiram and Iqbal lie the words of Abraham Lincoln, "Democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people." If that is true, it should logically also mean accountability to the people, which is what happens every time there is an election. No wonder then the Joy Prakash Narayan, who led the famous JP movement in the 1970s that led to end, fought against the emergency rule by Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, in principle advocated an extreme from of frequent elections called right to recall. JP said common people must have the right to dislodge their representatives, which he said was an unwritten right which the people can exercise if and when necessary, because that is what is needed when the representatives fell in their duty and became corrupt, oppressive, and inefficient. Behind the report, Glory Globe TV, Delhi, India.